and what we're told and what we believe in. And you're right.
So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming and joining the grandmothers. We are here to acknowledge and celebrate what Indigenous would always do. We were always a group of people that was always connected with the changes and the acknowledging and honoring the changes that happens, the seasons, the moons, the phases of the moon. In fact, I think they call us party animals because we were always honoring and celebrating life. And so today it's an eye opener for a lot of people. I hear a lot of people are building their fires, and it's so nice to hear this. And so at this time, I want to light everyone's fire is by doing Thanksgiving. So at this time, we gather up our minds and we give thanks for each and every one of you. And we give thanks to the ancestors that held on to our ceremonies and our way of life. So we give thanks for this time being connected with our Mother, the Earth, and the universe. And so we give thanks that they are still fulfilling their duty, and now we are picking up our responsibility and our duty. And so we give thanks. We give thanks to each and every one of you that is here tonight, and we honor and thank each one of your families and send off much love and kindness to them. Well, now we think of our Mother, the Earth, and how she has given us all that unconditional love. And so tonight we're feeling that love by the fires that has been lit. And it is so powerful because when we light that fire in all our territories, you know, the moon, Grandmother Moon is looking down and she sees, my family, they're celebrating, they're remembering how to honor these major changes and that is happening. And so we are here. I know many people have lit their fire, and I see Nakama's Cindy Lee has got her fire, and we give thanks for her partner for keeping that fire. And we have faith, and it's so nice that we're coming from the directions, 3 directions right now, but there will be 4 directions, and so we give thanks. So we know we look and we see all these magnificent things. Oh, we are blessed. We can smell, we can see, we can taste, we can feel all that love that she's given to us. And so at this time, we're going to honor this time of great new awareness, awakening. And so we like to acknowledge all those that manifest and made this day possible for us. And so we like to acknowledge each and every one of them. We like to acknowledge the animals, the 4-legged ones, the 2-legged ones, the winged ones, the fin ones, and the crawlers. Oh, they are so magnificent. They keep showing us how we need to be reminded to take care of our Mother, the Earth. For we have fallen asleep. We have forgotten how to support her in many ways. And so we are glad that we see the fires that is lit tonight. And we give thanks for that coldness. How many have enjoyed that fresh coldness? I love when you see your breath. That is I feel so much love because when I see that breath, I see the Creator, because it is said that He put His breath into us. And then when you see that, that's evidence of such love because, wow, He made the world, He created everything. So we are magnificent creatures of such sacredness. And so I give thanks for this moment of our breath, the air. We give thanks for the water that is in all of us. We give greetings and gratitude for all that they have done for us and that they are doing and that they will be doing. They come in many disguises, but all in all, they are our purpose of life. Each of us hold a sacred water. And so tonight we're making that move again to honor the sacredness of this water, of this nighttime, because the nighttime is also filled with water. And so we acknowledge this time. We look and we see how the birds, they have told us it is time to rest. And there is one that will be out and he will watch over us as we do our ceremonies. And he will report back to all creation in the morning that we have done our duty and our responsibility tonight. And so we look and we see all these magnificent things. We saw and we know that we have been blessed with the sustenance, the medicines, the foods that we have taken because they say our food is our medicine and our medicine is our food. So we like to acknowledge each and every one of them and the different trees that is about us. All they are all different families, and so we acknowledge and give thanks to each one of them, for they have done many services for us, and so we like to acknowledge them for the warmth that they are doing tonight. They are also in celebration of this change. For it is them that we have needed to create this fire. And so we like to acknowledge all their ancestors for coming forward, because many of them are many years old and so many years young too. So they come together just like us to celebrate this time. We look and we see all these magnificent things. Now we look and we see the changing of the season. For it is this time that we, as Indigenous people, came together and we foresaw a major, as they say, a major change to us. For we recognize that change, and that change was acceptance, because we saw what transpired all year, and we look back on that year, and that was with, we've had a lot of life experience. And so we are to acknowledge those life experiences because they created resiliency. And that's what you are today. And so we give thanks. We look and we see how our grandmother shines her face upon us. Oh, she is so beautiful. And her helpers, the stars, we give thanks to them. We look and see the winds that come from the four directions. We see the waters that comes from the sky world and goes from being a little tiny little stream to go be a creek, um, a river, a lake, and an ocean, and returns back to the sky world. We are very grateful for this moment in our lives that we can honor the sacredness of life again. We look and we see that all these are fulfilling their duty. And we see our eldest brother, the sun, who shines his face upon us. And we give thanks for they are the brother and sisters that are continuing looking after us. And so we give greetings and gratitude to them. We look and we see the four beings that is around us all the time. And we are so blessed uh, to have so much caregivers around us and so many helpers around us. See, we have forgotten. And this is why tonight we're going to acknowledge them. We're going to celebrate them, and we're going to remember them. And from this day forward, we're going to speak of them and talk of them, of all the service that they have been doing for them, for us. And so we say, with much love and gratitude, we give thanks to all those mentors that have, we had Skanda de Leo. Oh, he was a human that had fallen from grace. I think it had to happen because, many of us, that's one of the best things is that, you know, we have had those that had fallen from grace, but they brushed themselves up and got back up and they remembered their roles and their responsibilities. And it was a time when they lost their spirit. And so here we are tonight, recovering, renewing our spirit, continuing that role that we play with this time of season, the solstice, and we say thank you. Thank you for giving us this moment, because this is what it's all about today. The solstice, this is what it's all about, is being a mentor. Are you being a mentor tonight? Are you helping someone? Because this is what the changes has brought. The sun, he is showing us a very important lesson, and we'll get into that later. And so we look and we see all these magnificent things. We are truly blessed. And so we look and we send off our love to all those that are in need of a prayer, support, guidance, and healing today. And tonight we say thank you for each and every one of you being here tonight. So we now take this moment and we thank our higher power, the one that has created all of us and has made this floor plan so that we can be guided and showing us how to be as good human beings. And the solstice is one of those gifts that was given to us. And so I say, welcome to this day. And so tonight we are here. It is time that we have brushed ourselves off and we have risen to the occasion of the nighttime. The nighttime many people were afraid of, but we are to renew that relationship again. The nighttime was given to us so that our bodies could be mended. How many take advantage of that, what they call sleep? How many take that time to let, everything the Creator has done for us, all those things that I talked about, he has talked about self-care. Self-care, isn't that magnificent? The solstice is another tool for us for self-care. Reflect, rest, look at ourselves, get ourselves ready. And so when we say this, we are here to celebrate our lives. And so I want to say, look at, we have this moment together. And it's so nice to have other grandmothers that are here tonight. And I would like them to share too. And so if Cindy Lee could bring her song at this time, this would be a gift, because this is what we are told. All creation sings at this time, and we're raising the vibration of hope and of love and of acceptance and newness. And so we give thanks to this moment of celebrating.
Chimigwech. The song that comes to mind is one of giving thanks and giving thanks to the grandfather, giving thanks to the grandmother, giving thanks to the creator, giving thanks to all relations. And I'll offer up that song.
What a vibration. The fire just was dancing as you were singing. As you were singing and drumming, it was just like, it was just enjoying that vibration. And I hope everyone else's fire, the fire within you has sparked and has. I hope you got many goose pimples right now, because this is what it means when your spirit is happy and you, as they say, and you're happy and you know it. Clap your hands. I always think of that. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Wow. This is a time to celebrate, because what are we doing? We're bringing the two worlds together. We're bringing the sun and the moon, and we're showing that relationship that we have come to rely on. And at this time, the eldest brother, the son, he removed himself for a reason. And it was to let us know that we have busied ourselves. You know, when there's that constant light, we're just on that constant flow. We gone beyond, and so many of us are stressed out. Many of us, our health has been touched, and so we need to remember why we were given this nighttime. And so he honored that gift of renewal. And so what he did, he took himself and removed himself from that from giving us this, because when we see that daytime, we want to be going, and it's so strange. I was in Alaska when it was the sun was shining 24/7. It seemed. I tried my darnest to cover up the. I'm used to the nighttime, and I put I put blankets over the window and blankets on the door, but there was still that light peeking through, and I said, no, I need to have my nighttime, because I have come to recognize how important that nighttime is for us for self-care. How many take advantage of it and get 8 hours? You see, this is why the sun had to step back, because we have forgotten how to use this gift of love and nurturing, how to restore our bodies. The kids are supposed to be in bed by 9, the parents at least by 10:30. That's how, because we have a messenger that has come. It is the evening star. How many see it? How many are watching it? And you see, he tells us, get ready. And it's almost like now you have to close your curtains and let your body rest. So we are here tonight to celebrate and be with one another, and to share the meaning of solstice to you, renew that understanding to you. And so I'm going to ask my dear friend and grandmother Faye, if she could share from the west.
Ani, everyone, Bonjour, Doja. I come to you from, yes, definitely the southwest region of Ontario. Been in this part of the land for pretty much 40 years. I am Mandanadotsa from North Dakota. So if you're familiar with Mandaree around that area, that's where I do come from. And I bring greetings and thanksgivings from our land. And I'm so grateful to be in this part of Turtle Island for now about 40 years, and learning new ways and understanding of how we are as Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island, which we call North America. I had a thought about the solstice today, and was reflecting with elders and songs from earlier today. And we talked about a blue light. And even that light, like we don't see it today in the Southwest, but there would be snow, maybe around this time. And some of you may have snow. And you can see our grandmother moon reflecting that light through the snow, and it looks blue. And I had a thought about that, because often if we didn't have this opportunity where we have this, what we call shortness of days, and this is a day of a shortage of light, that we would say, but there is light, and we have to recognize our grandmother and her power, her infinite power, and the teachings that we have as women. So I honor that today, and looking for the light and what we might know to be, who we are as women. And when it comes upon a time where we have full moon ceremony only a few days ago, there's a lot of power out there. And I know on partaking in full moon ceremony with our fire outside, like Cindy Lee's a couple of days ago, and being with the grandmothers and our knowledge keepers and women, young and old, and really wanting to experience our way of life, looking forward to this time of the shortness of day. And you might recall that because it's been coming for quite some time. You might say on your drive home, it's getting darker when you used to drive home and it was light. But what I like to look at is, Grandma Renee, is the balance in that, because, often we have these long days, hot days of summer, right? And we're thinking, gee, it's light out, and our poor children, they're 9 o'clock at night. They're telling us, oh, we're not going to bed yet. The sun's still up. So there's this balance that, our father, the sun, our son, and our grandmother moon, and what we're taught, in how we change as humans as well, and how our bodies reflect that, how our minds reflect that. So I'm grateful for this time of the year, the same as I'm grateful for that long day of summer that we feel. is that we're reminded that there's balance. And if we looked at that, the longest day that we get in the summer, and we balance that against the shortest of day that we have here today, that we can see there's always this woman, female and male balancing that's happening. And often I think sometimes, we think about this time, yes, it's a reflection time. It's a time that we are indoors. It's a time that we tell stories, right? We're beginning to move through that naming ceremony time, and to really look deep within us in order to keep our knowledge and our understanding alive. So this is the time where we do spend indoor, speaking with our children, teaching in our families. That's what this is about. And that work outside is slowing down. It's not that our Mother Earth is, some people might say, oh, she's sleeping, renewing, definitely renewing and rebirthing at this time to prepare for the spring, and what's to come. So even our Mother Earth graces us with this period of time. And there's beautiful Gail. Hi. Another grandmother joined us. So we have our balance. So when we look at what that balance is in our life and in our family, that we can honor that today. So I was thinking about that a lot, looking at the blue light and what this light means, because, light is who we are, and that light needs to come into us and it needs to move through us. So that light is shared. Like, we all share this light, that often I think if we close our eyes, you can see the light, right? You can still see it. And that light is what renews us and gives us this birth that we talk about, that we all require, the same as our Mother Earth. So I just wanted to take this time and reflect a little bit on, even the water and how this medicine, which we hold as women and bring to the sacred circle of birthing, and what that might look like, and the sacredness of water and the prayers that we have for water. And that water is here with us, even right now, the balance of fire and water, and how important. So I find this during this time that you may find yourself drinking more water, wanting that water because you're renewing in your life. So the light, the water, and how important that is. And I know people often look for medicine. They're like, well, where do we get medicine? And we just had this conversation, Grandma Renee, before we started. Our medicines are all around us, if in fact we honor it and we have our faith and our belief in the light and what that means. So I'm grateful to have knowledge and have knowledge keepers and grandmothers and those who have shared the stories over the years, to have an understanding today of who we are and keeping balance. So I want to honor your families today. There's a lot happening out there. There's a lot. And we're concerned. We're concerned with, what our nations may look like in the next 5 years. We can always speak to the children, our future generations. Elders have passed on recently who have given messages about families honoring each other in their homes, in their communities, and our children, and teaching them how important it is to carry on what we would call a long time ago our traditions, but to carry on our teachings and to share how important that is. Even this platform we have today, I don't know how many people we're reaching, but this balance that we talk about, good nutrition in our families today, what does that look like? What does that good nutrition look like? Certainly it's water, but many other things that balance us. So we need to do the work as women, as those who keep the knowledge, to share and to bring balance into our communities. So I believe this is the teaching of the winter solstice, is that we come together and we're sharing right now sacredness in this space where we have our fire, we have our song, we have our grandmothers here willing to share and to give of their time freely, that we would be in your homes and speaking to you and your children. So I am so grateful for that. I want to leave my message today about kindness, how kind our Mother Earth is, how kind our grandmother Moon is, how kind the Father Sun, right? Like how kind, that warmth. They just have the exact understanding, the responsibility of their place. That if that sun got too close to the earth, we would feel that. We would feel that. If the moon got too close to the earth, we would feel that. Our sun and moon have been here forever, that I know, very long time, and has kept their responsibilities. As human beings, we have responsibility. As mothers, as fathers, as grandmothers, as grandfathers, we have those same responsibilities, and it has not changed. It has not changed. We may have changed. The animals have their responsibility. The plant life has responsibility. The water has responsibility, and all of this in balance. And here's the thing, it was said to me not too long ago, the earth does not need human beings. The animals do not need human beings. The water does not need human beings. Creation does not need human beings. We need all of that to survive and to live what we call minima bazuin, the good life. So when we consider what the good life is, it's a gift. It's literally a gift. It's a gift. So this gratitude I feel and the joy that I feel within myself today is understanding and acknowledging that I have a responsibility to myself. Yes. To my family, yes. To my community, yes. To the nation, yes. We have a responsibility, and I'm grateful for having that knowledge today and wanting to live that good life as a responsibility, and to ensure that others within my circle have that opportunity as well. So I believe today that the larger picture, yes, looking at today and wanting the light and accepting that light for it to come into us and to go through us and to be as magnificent as it is, that we honor that light. We honor all the teachings that we have, and that we continue to search if that's what it's going to take, and to evolve as Indigenous peoples. I have my light too, and I see it. This one was given to me by Liz Akowinzi. Beautiful light. So I just really believe that I have gratitude. I wanted to share something before I complete my talk here with you. This is a piece of glass. I do glassing. I pick up, people would say trash, for the most part. But this glassing, when I'm out on the water, and I have this heart that's carved out of a bowl, piece of wood. And this was done by Trades of Hope women across the world who are surviving and thriving out of conditions that many of our women, Indigenous women, live in, which is sometimes human trafficking, right? Some of the issues that we're facing are missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And this bowl, I put this glassing in that I find, and I have it in my house, that when people would come, that we offer gratitude, and when I'm picking this glass and I'm walking along the water edges, I'm giving thanks and a prayer to Creator for helping me, because sometimes you might feel that you're worthless and tossed aside as a people. And when I pick up this glass, I often say, Creator, look at the beauty that you created with this glass that's been in the water for many, many years, and tumbling and hitting against the shoreline and the sand and becoming something that people want to make jewelry out of. It's beautiful. And I have gratitude for that. So I offer a prayer for our people. I offer a prayer for myself, for my family, my community, and I give thanks. So that's the energy, and it's everywhere. We can find that energy. So I just have hope for everyone that, whether you're glassing, whether you're carving, whether you're drumming, whether you're singing, you know what your talent is. Every one of us come with a talent. There isn't a human being who was not born on this earth without a talent. So when you discover that talent, shine your light, be bright in what you do, because it really has an impact on all people. Create your gratitude, whatever that is. Many people have gratitude in different ways, but remember, we're put on earth for gratitude, for the Creator, for everything that we were given and gifted to have life. So I offer gratitude today for all of you, for the families I can see and I can't see. My light, shines with you, and our light gets brighter as we come together. So that's what I offer for the winter solstice. And I'm so grateful to be here with you. Oh.
It's a beautiful time when we all can visit. And it's time. I'm so grateful that we get this time. And I think of my grandpa's sister. She always had this puzzle laid out on her table. It was always done in the fall, and we would come in, and that's where we would sit, and it was just like we would, every piece of the puzzle was combining the two minds, the older mind and the young mind. And I learned many lessons there from just doing the puzzle and being there at the nighttime and having a cup of tea. And it was so in a sense, it's all those grandmas, all those aunties that we had spent time with. We're bringing them here tonight with us. We're sitting here and we're sharing their moments with us. And so we are so grateful that Gail is here with us. It seemed like forever that we have gotten together. And I think I was having withdrawals. I haven't seen you ladies in a while. And so I'm so grateful that we're here together. And so Gail, share with us your adventures.
Gail, you need to unmute. Yep.
Oh my gosh, how nice is it to see everyone tonight here? And there's many out there that I can't see, or I don't know who's watching tonight, but I'm telling you, we kind of get withdrawals when we are away from, our favorite peoples. And this time of year, it for me, it's a very powerful. And one of the reasons I say that is because I remember my mom talking about going to bed with the chickens and getting up with the chickens, and so she lived on a farm, and that's what they would do. They would like do everything that they had to do, and then they would the night hours, and they would be in a state of rest. And even the animals felt that same state of rest. And so we have to remember that we're living kind of in I would call it a fake environment, because we can turn the lights on and we can stay up till 1 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and we wonder why we have so many mental health issues. Because this is the time that we're supposed to be resting our minds. It's a time for storytelling. It's a time for being, I would call it, being mellow. And you think of all the hard work you did planting those gardens, and preparing for this time, and then this is just the time where you can enjoy it, and you can be in that state of peace. So recently I had the opportunity to go to Costa Rica, and in Costa Rica there was no TV, there was nothing to keep you up. And so the sun, it kind of like, there's not such a dark period and a light period. I remember somebody coming into the store and saying they come from kind of the same area, and the hardest thing for them to get used to was the long days and the short days. And I never thought of that, because for them, 6:30 a.m. the sun comes up, 6:30 p.m. the sun goes down year round. And to have to be in the longer days and the shorter nights, it's thrown them off. And they've been living here for, I think, up 13 to 15 years. And so in Costa Rica, it was the same experience. We got up at the same time, and then at night there was really nothing to do except for talk. which we did a lot of. And so when we had those conversations, it was we were to bed quite early most of the time because, and so I went back to my mom talking about that need for that time to be quiet, to have your mind calm. And if you know my mom, that's quite the thing because she was very active in many ways, but she was still very much into those habits that she grew up with the timing of the day and the timing of the night. You could just see when she was getting tired, and you could tell by the moon. So it's interesting. We just had full moon, and so full moon is that brightest time of the month, and it's correlated with the darkest time of the year. And so again, when you think about that beautiful balance that was created, it's inspiring. It's like it's powerful, and so bringing back that light and that dark. There's balance in everything that we do, whether it's on a monthly basis, whether it's on a yearly basis, whether it's on a millennium basis. There, there are times and there are, I guess, things that we do without without I guess normally would be the best way to describe that. So I see Cindy Lee's beautiful fire that she has lit, and it's as if the ancestors are welcoming, tobacco, and welcoming prayers, and they're welcoming all those ancestors into our space tonight, so that we become one as we speak. And so again, it's that element of fire, lighting up the lighting up the nighttime sky. And again, there's this balance that happens when fire and darkness come together. So just like the new moon and the full moon are opposites, so are the solstices. So we have the beautiful solstice of that shows us the dark time in the skies. And in June we have that beautiful solstice that shows us the beauty of that brightest day of the year, the longest day of the year. So if we really look at nature, nature has everything that we need to learn. And there's a lot of people looking for teachers, and oh, I just wish you could I could teach you, or you could teach me, or I could learn from you. And the answer is always simplicity. Go watch the sky, go watch the earth, take a walk in the forest, connect on a way that allows you to receive what it is that you need to receive. Because even if we were to, like, you do all these training programs, which we do, the only way to be out on dark. What is the light? You know, Another story that always I think of is, there are times when you can walk the same path 1,000 times, but on day 1,001, you get a feeling that you shouldn't walk that same path. And it's like you have to pay attention to that, because even though that path has been good for 1,000 days, there's something about day 1,001 that tells you don't go that way tonight. And so we get all of those messages in our life. Now, should we ignore that message? Sometimes we find ourselves into a little bit of dilemma because we didn't pay attention, and because we didn't pay attention, then there might have been some misadventure that we found in that, not listening deeply to that intuitive voice that comes along. So one thing I like about us is we keep ourselves in balance, we keep ourselves in check, because we get to work together, we get to plan together, we get to share all of these little stories, and that's what we're doing tonight. Is we're talking about things and how they affect us, and we're talking about things that others may respond to in a very positive way. It's like, yes, I remember my mom talking about that, how they went to bed with the chickens. And and it's also resembles a sweat lodge, we go into that darkness. And in that darkness, our mind has the opportunity to go beyond the darkness into another place. And this beautiful thing about ceremony is it takes us out of our norm and it puts us into another space, so that in that new space we're able to really get the full impact of why we are here. The question always is, what is my path? Am I on the right path? Well, you are on the right path. You're where you're supposed to be at this time, and we just have to accept that, and we have to create what it is that um, the next steps that we're taking. We have to make those choices with those next steps as to where we are heading. So we all fall into this space of beauty and love and harmony when we start to pay attention to that really deep inner guidance that we all share. And I believe that, and of course, this is just my belief. I believe that the world is so beautiful right now. You look outside, and sometimes the trees are coated with that beautiful white snow, and it gives you a feeling of, I can't even describe what that feeling is, but I know that it makes me really, really good to look outside and to see that snow, or to see the winds, or to see the rain, or just to see the clouds, because again, the clouds share so much with us. I remember one night I woke up and there I was looking at this being in the clouds outside my window, and I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes again, and wait a minute, am I awake or am I dreaming? But the clouds give us so many messages, and again, we ask and there's answers in nature. So I see a lot of posts about, oh, can you see this in this picture, and can you see that in this picture? And I have to, sometimes, I wish I was just able to say, that's what everything is. Every connection that we have is a message for us. So how did you feel when you saw that, and what would you think that message was for you? Because that's really what how those messages come. So when you go to sacred sites, you always have those beings, those sentinel beings, that that they would like an offering. So you offer your smoke, you offer your tobacco, you offer whatever it is, your good prayers, your beautiful words, and you humble yourself in front of these beings and these entities. And so that when you pass through their territory, that they got you covered, basically. They're going to look after you, and your feet are walking where they need to be. They're guiding your journey, and it's so powerful. And only after years of, I guess, uh, getting to see all of these things and experience all these things, that's when you actually get that feeling of aha. So that's where those aha moments come from. So I don't want to take up too much more time, because we have others yet to speak, or maybe I missed that part. But I'm just hoping that everyone takes this time tonight to sing your favorite song, to play your sacred rattle, to stand outside and just feel the essence of that beautiful dark sky, because it's like a blanket. It's like a warm winter blanket. You can't see how it covers your back and it covers your shoulders, but you can feel the warmth and the beauty that it provides for you. So in our haste to be the boss, we have to step back and understand that we are the boss of nothing. We are the master of our life, though. So with that, Nyawago, I realized I didn't even introduce myself for those of you that I don't know if my name's up there or it's not, but Sego Sewa Kwego Ka Dine Nyongets. My name is actually Gail Whitlow, and I'm from Six Nations territory. So I'm from the Mohawk Nation, and I am Bear Clan, and I live here at Six Nations, and I have a beautiful family of 5 children and 15 grandchildren, all of which, almost all of them, were here today. So my life is full and my life is beautiful. And it's those children that teach you to look up into the sky, and they're the ones that have you going beyond your desire sometimes. Yeah, they keep you motivated. So with that, I will uh, step back and wait till I hear more good words.
Thank you, Gail. It is so nice to reconnect with the universe, with so many like-minded people, and it's so nice to thank you, each and every one of you that is putting in a little note to us. We really appreciate your words and your thoughts, and we look forward to hearing from you. And so now I'd like to hear from Cindy. Speaking of the natural element, she is in that natural element, and I envy her.
Yes, it's really wonderful to be out and to, of my. I said, no, I think it's good. I can bring out my laptop and so that we can actually be right out here. So out here, in the element of with that sacred fire, and just it's just so quiet. It's very quiet, and just it feels like that warm blanket. It feels wonderful. And also, who's joined me out here is some the drum that's sharing a voice, and I've also got some feast foods here as well. I always have those strawberries and blueberries that are here too that I'll offer up to the sacred fire. And I'm on my shoulder. We can't quite see it yet, but the grandmother is coming up, and it's really quite large, but it's not high enough yet that very soon that it'll probably be able to we'll be able to see the grandmother as well as the sacred fire almost aligned. I was sort of hoping they may kind of be on this line, which would be wonderful. But just in sitting and thinking about this time of year, and the healing that comes with these longer days, and the storytelling. I remember as a child too, just we went to bed early, and it was still the same. Like when the chickens went to bed, went to bed, and then be up early in the morning, and that's how it was, and the work gets done and that you need to do during the day, and at night then it's sitting and playing a lot of game, and it's just being able to sit together and just share. And now with how things are, and I'm so thankful and full of gratitude that we've been able to at the same time use these electronics to be able to bring this this laptop out, to be able to see the sacred fire, so we can come together and just connect in this energy, in this one mind, in this one heart, together in this circle. So I'm thankful for that technology, but it doesn't replace that connectiveness that we have when we're with family, with friends, and we're with the circle. But again, as I sit out here, I feel connected. I feel connected to everything, and I just loved the sharing earlier about the connection to the trees and to the wind and to the Star Nation. I can see them here because I live where I live. There's no lights, so I can see stars, and they're all there, and they're just wonderful. I just feel connected to them all, and to be able to get outside and be able to feel that. So when I think about this slowing down too, like it seems like we're so busy, we keep moving, but really this time was a little bit of that resting, and that just regenerating, and that healing, and those sharing, and as we were talking about earlier. And so because we have so much work that we're going to have to do in the springtime, that's going to be a really busy time to begin getting the grounds ready, and just being able to work with the plants and all the things that we would do. I know we spent a great deal of weeks working with hides, my husband and I, and it's not something you can do in the summertime. It's not a fall, it's more a late fall, this type of weather that you need. It's easier to work with the hides to create beautiful, beautiful hide for the drums, for their creation, for their voices, and also for the leather that we would make our wares out of. So we're really thankful that we were able to get connected and back into doing that work, and thankful for that wind and the temperatures that support that type of work, right? So I do want to, if it's is to be able to just acknowledge these feast foods that are here, and acknowledge the berries that are here, as well as the blueberries that are here as well, and just acknowledging their presence, because you really do um, feel a deeper connection with them at this time of year, because they're not local. That we don't have these local here, and so we have to look somewhere else for them if we would want them. But I mean, in the times before, we would have, prepared these very differently. They wouldn't have been fresh. They may have been dried, or we would have had other foods that would have provided the vitamin C's and the different nutrients that they provide. But I just I'm so thankful and gratitude that we do have them. So I want to acknowledge their presence here, and also offer some of them to that sacred fire, and to the healing that we've all come in. And I was noticing all the words and all the messages along the side here, and it's wonderful to see everybody here in circle and be able to take away that healing. So I'd like to do that, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Grandmother Renee, and I'm going to offer up the strawberry and the blueberries as well to the sacred fire here. So we'll do the strawberry first. Just had my partner offer some tobacco as well, or as the strawberry and the blueberry make their way through that. So Chimigwich for that sharing. Grandmother
Thank
Renee?
you, yeah, Cindy Lee, and tell Gord, we are very lucky that he has been such a supportive helper. And it's so powerful when we have a male tending to our fire and looking after us and fulfilling that role. And I like to have us always remember this solstice day as not a materialistic. It's so sad that a lot of these sacred events, sacred days are taken over by materialistic. You know, let's not do it with the solstice and the equinox, because they've gone commercialize Christmas, they commercialize Easter, they commercialize, all these special moments in our lives, and it's so we need to just remember where we come from, simplicity, how important it is to sit with one another, to sit and talk with one another, and that plays a bigger role. And in our family, we always have that moment. We always talk about, the younger ones will say, tell us about when you were young. Remember when? And so it's just like they're just eager for those stories. And so when we get together, it's this is what they're hungry for, our young people. This is what gives them that support, to help them in this time when their minds are busy. Is we take them away from technology and we ask them to let's just share. Let's just share. This is what the solstice is all about. How many of you have cooked today? Well, how many of you have baked today? The most beautiful thing is that I had a Zoom earlier than this one, and my neighbor came and knocked on the door, and he brought me supper. Wow, that was and it was roast beef and gravy. Oh my goodness, how lucky is that? It's just like, I am so grateful that neighbors are being neighbors, you know. We Anytime I'm in a habit of cooking more, I go and drop it over to his house. And that's what it's all about. Solstice is sharing this time together, sharing a story, sharing a meal, even sharing beadwork. This is a time to be creative and renew your gifts. Remember, the Creator made you, and in that, your spirit has so much talent. We need to open up those talents. I was so impressed with these. We had a fall fair. I mean, at Country Heritage, and to see the people using creativeness in this pandemic time, how they have created many things out of. Isn't it amazing? We need to get back to this. This is what our young people are missing. This is what will fill that void in their life, sitting around. And you know, we used to have, in our community, we used to have storytelling, and it was all the older people would we would be at a community hall, and people would come and they listen to our stories. So these are things that, you know, this is what they want. This is, they want to belong to that circle, the circle of family, the circle of love, and how it used to be. The circle represents that fire. So today we were hoping that this is going to become, look forward to next year, look forward to that time of when the shortest night or the longest day. Look forward to those, because it's reconnecting to what your spirit really needs, reconnecting with over overlooking what has happened to your life. I know many of you have changed for the better, and it's so powerful. It's like a prayer has been answered, that each one of you is seeking a different understanding of life. And that's what this is all about, reflecting and looking at our past experience. And this is what we talk about in the Thanksgiving address. We talk about that mentor, Skana DeLeo, how he was a leader. And that's something. And this leader had fallen from grace. But what did he do? He got back up, because the creator believed in him and never give up on him. And the creator had sent messengers to let him know that he played a very important role. And that's with each one of you. Each one of you play a very important role in what is to unfold today and tomorrow. So prepare your gifts for the coming year. Those gifts are your kind words. Those gifts are your smile. Those gifts are hope for others. And so, yes, we're going to have some, as they say, especially with Christmas coming up, we're thinking of all those that have. So at this time, I like every one of us. And if you could put some tobacco down for the people that have lost a loved one during these past year, and we're going to send off our prayers to them, and acknowledge those one that, and send prayers to all of those that's going to find an empty spot at Christmas or at Thanksgiving, and send off prayers to all of them that let them feel the love, let them feel the kindness and good, and let their hearts be mended, so that they can see, that the veil be lifted from their eyes, and so that they can hear the laughter of what it was like when they were here. For I will do that too, for I will honor my brother that had passed on this past fall. And so this is very important. This is very important to talk about. Is we're sending off our love right now, sending our love to all those that have lost a loved one. And yes, we have had one grandmother that has passed on. It was amazing that she was here with us for such a long time, and she spread her joy and her her words with us and made us stronger. And so I want to say thank you to her too, Yvonne. Um, Remembering Eileen, yes, she was a dear friend. All these women that have got up and raised up and spoke and brought that awareness. And so, when they say you don't have family around you, well, that's what the animals has shown us. Adopt, take in someone. That's the most important thing, because animals have always done that. They have taken in other creation. And so when you don't have, when I didn't have a mother, I went and looked for a mother. When I didn't have a father, I looked for someone to stand in my father, to go and to speak to. And I know each one of us has had that opportunity to go and find that support. And that's what they say today is you have a family. And that's what we're here tonight, is to celebrate. And so I like to hear from Faye to share some words too.
Grandmother, I just have that thought, about how we build family and community. We were born to a nation. Indigenous people were not born to just parents and a family. We were born to a nation, and it is a nation's responsibility to be there for our children and our families and our grandmothers and our grandfathers. So, the beauty of us coming together is really experiencing that, even here through this Zoom. Like Tammy, I'm just going to speak to Tammy in her message, is that you are our family. You are here. And although we're not able to touch you or to hear your voice, you are within our heart, and that understanding, because you are our family. And I can say this, that when we build families as Indigenous people, it's strong. Those family ties go on beyond the veil, beyond what we understand life is right now. So we have family beyond that have journeyed, that are with us as well. It's just having the understanding and removing the veil to have that understanding today. And this solstice teaches us that's why we share these stories. But I say aho to all of you, and know we are family.
That's another important message of the solstice. It's to gather us together. And I have to laugh when my grandma, she said, when you're growing up with a lot of siblings, you're going to end up arguing sometime or another in your life. And sure enough, grandma would always say, send them to bed. If they send them to bed. And at that time, we didn't have the blankets we have today. We had real thin ones. so we're all laying and we're all mad. We're all laying on our side of the bed. My sister be on her side of the bed, but the cold would come, and next thing you know, we're wrapped around each other, and we wake up in the morning. Oh, did we have that smile on our face, because nature did that to us. Nature brought us back to renewing our relationship. So I thought I'd share that story. And so, Gail, would you like to share?
Why, sure. I have lots of stories. I love telling stories all the time. But what's coming to me right now is, all the stories of the beautiful ceremonies that we do, with the coming season, with at our longhouses, how we do our midwinter ceremonies and all the excitement, and to see everyone get prepared as we go through those 7 days of ceremony, how you make your new dresses and you make sure that everyone has their gastoas, and then it's enjoying the ceremony itself, how you go into ceremony at the longhouses, and how it just inspires you to just want to learn and to be, because I can just remember tears, lots of tears, a lot of times, especially when your grandchildren or your children or someone that's really precious to you, gets their name, or when, you're enjoying that delicious food. I mean, I had one grandson, he hadn't been to Longhouse, and so I took him to so he was just kind of younger, and so he's a very inquisitive type, and so we're sitting there, and at the end, and I said, "So what did you think?" He goes, "It was too loud." And I go, "What do you mean it was too loud?" And you don't think about it because when we dance, we give her, and as we give her, we're hooping and hollering and just honoring Creator. And he says it was too loud. I says, "Well, what did you like the most?" He says, "The food." So he totally loved the food at the end. And then some of my other grandchildren, they just don't want to miss a ceremony. They're they were brought up that way, and it makes you proud to see them as they evolve through that as well, how they take the teachings that they've had. And even for myself, as you the more you go, and it takes years for you to get to the point where you understand the ceremonies in a deeper way. Like when you're dancing and you're dancing for Creator, then you put your heart and your soul into that. And up to that point, there's a lot of times when you don't know exactly why you have to get out there and dance. But over time and over repetition, and now I understand what it is to be a peoples who I guess keep repeating, like the ceremonies. Every time you go, you learn something new. So every time you go and you listen to speakers, you pick up something, and it makes sense to you, and it makes you feel real proud. So again, that's another thing that this time of the year offers to us. The darkness of the days. There's ceremonies that get done, and of course it's important to keep these ceremonies going, because without these ceremonies, they say that there'll be endless darkness, and we know that we can't live in endless darkness, that we have to make sure that we keep the fires burning, and we keep the spark of knowledge going. And I think we have a lot of dreams. I know I have a lot of dreams about things, just certain things about being at Longhouse, years and years and way before, like other lifetimes before, and even one where there were no Longhouses, where we were gathered together, like and just with the speaker. And so when you get these dreams and you get all of the teachings that you I guess that you want to get along the way, it really enforces your connection. And I remember the hard part about learning all of this beautiful things was we didn't share them. I thought, why do we not share this with other nations? Why are other nations not allowed to, come? Because if they were to feel and they were to understand the beauty of our cultures, then they would understand that there's a different type of respect, a different type of learning. They would understand that connectiveness, that we are humble in front of Creator. And those are the kinds of things that, used to make me kind of like, this is so beautiful, man. This is just so beautiful. And the tears would flow. It was so beautiful. And we weren't sharing it. So that's what I like to do, because I like to share that beauty. I like to share that beauty because of, again, some other dreams and visions and how things have helped me along the way. And the beauty is, it's not just from our culture that we feel this beauty. As we travel, as we partake of ceremonies throughout the whole world, there's this feeling that, wow, at one time we are all connected. We are all together in the wanting to be living a more balanced life. And again, so this is what happens during this time of year. Like this was the time of year that we did a lot of travel to, I guess, like different countries. And again, and listening to their stories of, the darkness and the day and the light. And they're also similar. So all around the world, we have such similar stories about, what it was like back in another time. So again, it brings that thought of we as ancestors. Who are our ancestors? Our ancestors are us. Our ancestors are us, and we become the ancestors um, when we pass on as well. So the ceremonial thread, or that those teachings and that beauty, comes through our mother's line, and it extends far beyond us into our grandchildren. And when we become ancestors, we understand also. So I'm just thinking about all of these things in this time of year, and especially looking at that sacred fire. I'm so glad, Cindy Lee, that you're able to share that with everyone, and to make those offerings, because it's so important. That's the fire, that's our heart, that's our soul, that's our being, and that's our teacher. And how many times do you sit around a campfire when it's dark, and you can't wait to get out those marshmallows, and you want to sit in that darkness and that beauty, and you want to watch that fire crackle, because something happens. We don't always know what happens, but we just know that we find this peace within. And again, that's what the solstice brings to us. It brings us into this real beautiful peace. And tonight I'm feeling that as we sit here, and we share, and oh my gosh, such happiness and such joy. No matter what happens throughout our day, this is a very powerful time for us tonight. And even when it's the summer solstice, that time when we get to relax. After a long day, it's like, boy, these days are long. Or it's 9 o'clock and the sun's still up, and it's like, gee, I've done a lot today, I just want to go to bed. But something about that energy of that light keeps us going. So we're living in this area, and we're feeling what we're feeling. But we also I have friends in like different places, and they even get less sunlight and more darkness at different times of the year. And then there are times of the year when it's totally the opposite, where they get so much darkness that they have to figure out how to go to sleep. So we all have to be in the energy that we're in, because it's what we need to be, and it's who we are. And we just have to accept things that like this, that well, some may say challenge us, but I say that help us to understand who we are on a deeper level. So so with that, I'll pass the story on, I guess, to Cindy Lee, and see if she would like to, share some more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I just want to show, I'm just holding the grandmother here.
yeah.
There we go. There we go. It's easier if I do it this way so people could see. She's right there, and she's on top of my hand. So I hope that everybody can see that. I've always wanted to do that, where you have your hand by the sun or your hand by the moon, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. But it also allows you to see her. So I'm really thrilled that she's coming up, and we have like 60-foot pine trees where I am. So, and they're all the guardians, our property, the land which we take stewardship on, and we look after, and it looks after us as well. That this land, the Shishimakwe. So the standing nation is all those wonderful helpers that really do provide a lot of. They're providing this wonderful. They're feeding that fire. They're giving their life. And isn't it beautiful? Like when I think too, like of that transformation and that change that happens at this time of year as well. Even earlier with the drum, that drum had taken on various lives and various way of being before it came together as that hand drum, and those pine that made that came together for the frame, and deer hide that came together for the face of that drum, and it's a drum that I actually worked on the deer hide myself. So the teachings that came from that, and when you do spend time with the nations, you do spend time with our relatives, there is so many teachings within there. And I know that I think Faith talked about that a little earlier, about how much we can learn from, and grandmother Gail had also, and grandmother Faith had talked about that as well. It's just how we can learn. And so just today, as she's coming through and shining her light as well, it just feels just so warm out here with the sacred fire. And that's kind of like this union. And I've also noticed, we have different times of the year, and around this time too, we sometimes will see the grandmother moon and the grandfather sun in the sky at the same time. And I remember, when I see that, I just feel so protected by those two wonderful beings that really look after and come together to create where we are today on this earth. So I can certainly, when we come to the end, to sing. I have a song that we talked a little bit earlier about, relatives and connections, and being able to connect to each other, and how that we bring our families in. And so this song is I'm Maigan Donen. So I didn't introduce myself either, grandmother Gail. But Nokamis magazines we done in niche was up with some like just because Maigan Donen Ishnabe Quay Mel Seaton down Niagara and Ielda Hanadonjaba, northeastern Ontario Nadonjaba, New Brunswick Nadonjaba, and then English and French, and Cindy Lee is the other aspects of who I am, right? And so as Wolf Clan, it's one of the clans that bring in family. And so this song is just really talking about having that wolf come in and just to welcome that wolf and to invite the wolf in, and all the teachings that come from that teacher that's all around us, right? And again, it's about that family animal that's very connected to community, and also family and the responsibilities and roles that we have within that. Megan been again, oh Megan been a go, way high, way hey, 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 way high, way high, way high, oh way hey, oh. Megan been again, oh Megan been a go, way high. Hey, 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 way, yeah, way, high. Way, high, oh, way, oh, hey, yeah, way, oh. Way, high, oh, yeah, way, high. Way, high, oh, yeah, way, high. Way, high. Way, hey, 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 way, yeah, way, high. Wolves also like to sing. And so does that eagle spirit, the medicine name. So, in sharing it, we're all family and we're here together in this circle. And as grandmothers, I was listening to grandmother Renee talk about that hope and how we come together. And that's what grandmothers are about. And that's how I remember my grandmother. She was always, at Christmas and holidays, she was always making sure we had those cards and making sure that we had our favorite cookies or our favorite meal that we wanted, and just always providing all those things that, that sometimes we overlook, and I remember my mom doing that. And now being a grandmother myself with my grandsons, I have 2 grandsons and I have 5 grown children. And so just being there to share with them and to teach things that, and it's just a beautiful thing to share those stories. And I was going through I'm just videos the other day, and I found some old videos, and my daughter was talking about the story about how the bear lost its tail. And it takes place at a time when it's winter with that bear, and the fox medicine and how it tricked the bear into losing its really wonderful long tail. And my one daughter was sharing the story with my younger daughter, and they were just, they were just, I'm going to talk about this story. And it was just so beautiful to see that they had, and she was only about 10 or 12 at the time. And my other one was very young, a little bit, couple years younger than that. But it's all about that bear, and it happens at the time of winter. So again, those stories and those sharings of those teachings, and it really, I'm like, wow, they were doing that at 10 or 11 years old, sharing that story that I shared with them, that I received from a Nokomis that's now journeyed on to spirit and was my mentor for 16 years. And so, it's just such a wonderful thing to see that. And again, that connection of that knowledge and that sharing. So I'll leave that song and those words with you. And I'm going to come back over to Grandmother Renee as we're getting up to our time. And it's just been such a beautiful experience. And I'm just going to sit back a little bit so you can still see that moon there.
Thanks for holding her up.
There she is.
So it's this gift from the grandmothers, this gift of giving you that nurturing that you needed, the reminder why Solstice is important, but most of all, how important you are to us. Each of you are very important, and don't you forget it. Even when you have your hard times, us grandmothers, we've had our hard times too. But look at, we're here today. And that's all we want to do, is we want to encourage you. Don't ever give up. Understand that we are here to share. We are here to share. And this is what you are craving, is a blood memory. What you are craving, because this is the Solstice brings this out in you. And I know this morning I was dancing. And that's one of the things, as Gail had mentioned, about us really whooping it up. There was our dancing. And so hopefully after we're done tonight, I hope you would go out and give a little jig to Grandmother Moon and the Solstice. Because what are you doing? You're patting her with your footwork. You're patting her on her and saying, keep up that good work, giving her the appreciation that she needs to hear from us. And so we've done, as we say, we have come here to be a part of your evening. But remember, create your ceremony. This is what they need. Create your ceremony. Maybe board games, maybe making cookies. Well, I got some good Christmas present. I'm going to make, those, I've got these socks, those workman socks. I'm going to get my granddaughter, because one year I made, one of my granddaughters, we called her Dora. And so I made her a Dora doll, just handmade Dora doll. And so these are things this is ceremony, because it creates a memory that's going to support them in their challenging times, those dark times in their life. You're going to bring that light to them. And so we have gathered us together tonight. And at this time, I want us to rub our hands together. This is that fire. Feel that energy from that heat in your hands. Feel that energy. It is really powerful. And with the Grandmother Moon, we're going to open it up. We're going to open it up, and your fingers are tingling on each end. It's just like you're holding a, what do you call those, slinkies. It's a little slinkies, and you're moving it back and forth. You're moving that energy back and forth between your fingers. And what we're going to do is we're going to all those people that are in need of a prayer, support, guidance, and healing, we're going to send it to their hearts. We're going to send it to their minds. We're going to send it to their spirit and to their bodies. And so on a count of 3, we're going to stop and we're going to hold it out in front of us and we're going to blow it out into the 4 directions of the world so that it will touch all those people that are in need of support and guidance, and that that the veils be removed and that they can see the clarity and understanding that what is happening to them is because of the universe bringing them back home. And so on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the most important part of ceremony, is sending that off to someone else, sending them that encouragement. And what they call it today is distant healing. So right now, all of you became a part of a distant healing. And so anytime we come together, anytime the moon, the 4 changes of the moon, or anytime you feel that you are overwhelmed, just put your hand out like that. Because you know what? We're praying. We're in ceremony. We're saying ceremony every day, and we're sending prayers out to you. And so when we do that, we send that into a wrap around you so that you can feel that power that we are giving you, that power of resilience. And so from each of us, we are very grateful for this evening. And so I'm going to give each grandmother a chance to send their blessings to you.
Well, let me tell you, I've been waiting to tell you about this one because there's a video going on right now on Facebook of Grandma Renee doing, I think she won that competition too. Did you not? Is that of doing the smoke dance? And you should see her give her. Like, it is an amazing video. I watched it about 10 times and I was just chuckling over it because, if you need to be inspired and you need to dance, well, she's teaching dance lessons in that video. Like, if you watch those feet, you have to watch closely though, because she's really giving it all. So so there is Steve, a video going on right now, and I think that if you were to see it, you will see that even though you're a grandmother, you still got her. So, as closing words to everyone, I send my season's greetings, to you from my family and my community, and to all of you that have been watching tonight. I hope everything goes well for you, and remember, it's not about giving. It's not about receiving. It's about giving. So if you give your most precious homemade gift, it's coming from the heart. That's more precious than $1 million. So I just wanted to leave that with you. But yes, it's so good to be inspired by having peers and beautiful people to work with all the time. So blessings to all.
I just want to quickly send my love and blessings to all of you for your healing, for whatever you need in your life today, you're going to receive. And I believe that. So that's my faith, that's my belief, and I believe in you. So I look forward to a time our spirits will meet again, and through this period of time that you stay safe and well. Bumapi.
Just send blessings to each one of you as the sacred fire continues to bring that healing, that warmth to you. May your families be well and stay safe. And as you sit in this time, may it wrap you with the warmth and the love of family and community.
So with that, we are sending off we wrap you in this blanket of love. That's what it means. This feeling that I have, I wrap around each and every one of you. Guadaluncua, Guadaluncua, Guadaluncua. Have a beautiful season, and take care and be safe till we meet again.